expected me to
at
grow
the
up as is not how I
Hold on
did.
just a sec.
$99.
Hey, Rachel, thank you.
What would you do as a housewife if you don't want to cook or clean?
I do want to
Isn't
cook
that
and
what a
clean.
housewife is? A person that takes care of the house and home living?
I literally said I wanted to cook and clean. Like, I literally said
Yeah, but
that.
you putting
I
porn
don't,
into
I don't know if you answered this totally, but let's say your husband was very wealthy. He can provide for, you don't have to work. I don't know. He makes $1 million a year, right?
That's not a lot of money.
Get fucked.
What?
That's the most ridiculous thing anyone's ever said.
You do, okay.
I
You,
don't think that's like
how
that.
much, well, just curious, how much do you make from
I mean,
OF?
I'm not going to say how much I make, but I'm
Why not?
like,
Can
Why?
I give us a
Why?
But you
range?
just said $1 million is not a lot. So if you make more than $1
Say
million,
it.
you should be out here saying, "Yeah, I make more than a fucking $1 million."
But why I'm
That's
saying
right, Kelly.
that is because my
Say
stepdad makes way more money than that. So I just
Your stepdad?
But you're 33.
Yeah, so I just like don't
Why are you
make,
relying
like,
on your
$1 million.
stepdad?
I'm not relying on my stepdad. I'm just
But
saying
we're talking about
because-
your money.
because I can't like reveal certain things about my OnlyFans.
Well, don't
but-
tell us
But
how
you
much you
just-
make a year.
Can
How
you
much do you make like a
ballpark
month?
it?
It's
I
like a
don't
range.
think-
She
I
can reveal her
don't
body.
think
Range.
I thought making
Range.
$2 million a year was normal for people.
Yeah,
to
it's
be
not-
honest, and
no,
then
it
I
is
found
normal.
out It wasn't.
And if you're not making $2 million a year,
I
you're an
found out- I
absolute
just
loser. I'm
found
talking
out
about
it
all of
wasn't
you
normal
fucking
recently.
losers.
What's the average? What's the
All
average
right?
salary a man makes a year? 80K?
No,
a
it's
year?
less
like
than that. It's
45.
40 something.
Yes.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
and
I
us
don't
high
know
value
about
people,
that.
we make 2 million,
Yeah.
right?
Hold on.
I
You
don't-
think
I know
you
you
think
live
most
off
people
40K.
you think
No
most
one.
people make 2 million?
I used to. I found this out like kind of. Well,
What, you-
I
What, did you
didn't-
have a brain
I
injury?
just
Why?
didn't-
Why
I
did
didn't
you
think
think
it was that weird from the area I grew up. I didn't.
Where did you
think it
grow
was
up? Abu Dhabi?
Cambridge,
There you
New
go.
Jersey.
Okay. What's happening in New Jersey?
Basking, New Jersey. I just don't. I don't think it was that weird.
Wait,
Clearly everyone over there is
can you
making
give us a
$2 million
range? A range, like, do you make 5 figures a month?
I'm not gonna give any range about anything.
6 figures a month?
I'm not gonna.
Five
But you'll put your
Okay,
pussy
fine,
on
fine,
the
fine.
internet?
Yeah.
How many subs do you have
Says
on
a
your
lot.
OnlyFans?
I can't say that either.
I was trying to trick
Why?
you.
Okay.
Girl. Anyway, to go back.
Okay.
Say that.
To go back to
let,
what
let me just, okay, so, hold on. You think someone making $1 million a year is not enough?
Well, I mean, this is the thing. I'm not saying it's not enough for me, but when you're like, if you meet someone that's so wealthy, would you stop it? And then you said $1 million. I was like, oh, I don't think that's the wealthy person.
That's-
I mean,
but
not
that-
saying you're not
a
wealthy,
millionaire is not a wealthy
but I
person.
mean, I don't know. I live in
these days.
Miami. Maybe things are like different.
I'm
but-
saying $1 million a year, that's enough in any city in the U.S. for you to be a stay-at-home wife and not have to work.
Okay.
In any city in the
So
world.
how about we take the $1 million thing away and just say if it was an extremely wealthy man, and I did answer this, but they didn't like the word. I said considered.
Okay,
I said
10
I
million
would
a year. 10
I
million a
said
year.
I would consider if he wanted me to do it, and then people got mad that I said
You would consider.
consider and not just a hard yes, because you can't just give anything a hard yes without consideration first. But yeah,
But I
like,
mean, so
if you wanted me to do it, I probably would get rid of it if that was a big deal to him. That was like a make or break, and I was in love with him. But like I have
You are
not,
addicted to the attention
I-
from OnlyFans.
I have literally not had any guy tell me that I would need to delete my OnlyFans.
Because no guy has wanted to marry you yet. For
I'm
real.
engaged.
They wanna
Engaged. Where's the ring?
My ex-boyfriend wanted to marry me, and he loved that I was.
But how did that turn out?
Well, I broke up with him.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, but he wanted to make it work really, really bad. Like he thought.
So then why didn't you wanna marry him?
Because I could just tell he wasn't my person. Like I'm not gonna just marry just anyone. Just like how we were saying, it's very important to date someone and get to know them. And like there's a thing called intuition, and you either feel like someone is meant to be with you forever or that you don't. And I'm not gonna date someone just because I didn't feel like he was my forever, and I don't want to get divorced.
We've done a lot of talking about what's going to, like, why don't you think about stopping it for your kids, but it's too late. So you got to think about now how you're going to allow them to cope, particularly if you have a young boy. Like I know we're talking about young girls and stuff, but I think it's really damaging for a young boy to be shown at school.
To add to that, you also keep saying you're going to teach them to be entrepreneurs. You can teach your kids anything, but they're going to do something else. You can tell your kids to not do drugs, but they're still going to do drugs.
Right, exactly.
What would you say to your son if he's 15 years old and they say, and he comes up and says, listen, they keep showing me these photos of you and your ex-boyfriend from 2022?
I mean, this is the thing. the way I'm gonna raise them.
Oh my god.
But what is the
I
answer?
don't understand.
I
What
think
is the
all of
answer?
this is the recipe for like creating a serial killer. Like that's like what I'm imagining. Like
Well,
if
he just
my
asked you a
mom growing
question,
up
you
was
can
doing
answer it.
Yeah,
He
but
just-
that's what you're imagining.
But he just
There's-
asked you, what
there's
would you
porn
do?
Stars with kids.
But how are the kids?
it. Right.
I don't know. Should we bring them all on this podcast? Should we interview?
But what
them
would you
all?
say to your
I
son
don't
if
even
your
know.
son said, "I've seen this,
Well,
I've
he's
seen,"
gonna have already known that before.
but he's seeing it.
kids-
There's a
Here,
difference between
let's,
knowing and seeing it.
I feel like we've been sticking on this for a little too long. Let's move on.